Hi everyone, this is a design team project for Ephemera's Vintage Garden. I've got a guest spot on there for the next month or two, and I've been using the Enchanted Rose digital kit. All the links will be below to Ephemera's Vintage Gardens Etsy store and website where you can purchase this kit and many other kits that are on there. So I've enjoyed using this kit. This was great fun. This journal has turned into a super fat little chunky journal. Images are fantastic. I've had lots of fun. I'm not going to do a flip through now because I have done a step-by-step how I've constructed this journal. It's quite a long video. I'm not sure whether this is going to be 1 or 2 parts, just depending on how well I can edit my videos. So yeah, grab yourself a cup of tea and hope you enjoy. Right, so this is the paper kit. I've cut most of mine up, and these are the options you have for the covers. These are both the same size. This is a 6x4 mini kit, and like I said in the beginning, it is called Enchanted Rose. These bits I haven't cut yet, but all the covers, all the pages have been cut, and I will do a quick flip. Beautiful designs on these papers. There is lots of ephemera, like you've seen. You've got these hinges that can be cut out. This is a pocket that just needs scoring along there and up the sides. This I'm planning on making a little booklet with. These would be great as tags or tuck spots. Another pocket. Some more tags, which I will punch the holes and add some seam binding. Some more tags. Another large pocket here, just needs scoring and folding over. Now you get these, you can cut them individually, but I'm planning on keeping these like that and making little booklets, like so. Some journal spots, lovely pink colours throughout, and this is so pretty. Some tickets, some, I think these are library, yeah, the library tickets, some more ephemera. There we go, and then there's these that I just need to cut out. So you've got the, I like the fact that there's going to be some black running through this as well. Love them butterflies. Not sure what I'm going to do with that yet, but you will probably see, already seen that I've used it as something. So that's the kit, and obviously if you wanted to duplicate some of the pages you can do. So I will crack on and show you how I've made this journal. So I'm about to do my book cover using the images that were designed for the covers. I've kept this flap on. I wasn't quite sure what I was going to do, whether to keep it as a flap or not, but what I've decided to do is use this, which I've cut down to size, and I'm actually going to stick this down on here, and I'm going to just create a pocket on here. This will be the back page. So I will go ahead and get my Mod Podge. I'm just using the matte Mod Podge. I go through absolutely tons of this. So I'm just making sure my brush, I use this brush to apply it. Now I'm going to turn it the right way so it's actually facing me, so that I don't get myself confused. And I've actually scored this where I need to lay it down, and I've inked all around the edges. I'm not going to do all the inking on camera because it's quite boring, and we all know how to ink up paper. So I'm only going to put Mod Podge on this side, not on this side. I may actually speed some of this video up if I can work out how to do it. So I'm just applying a good even coat of this, because I want it to stick down nice and firm, none of the edges like kind of curling up on itself. And as you can see, obviously the wetness is making the paper kind of warp slightly. So I'm just going to line this up like so. And just give it a good rub down, and I seem to have lost my bond folder. So I'm just going to use my hand to do this. And if any little bits don't seem to be stuck, just go in with your brush. I've got some baby wipes to hand so that I don't end up sticking everything to the mat. And there's a little bit here. Okay. And a little bit here. It does do this Mod Podge, the matte one, and I can only compare with the matte, actually sticks very quickly. So that's, I'm just going to wipe that so that I'm not laying my work down on a wet surface. Okay, so that's that. I'm going to leave that to dry for a little bit, because I don't want to start folding it over on its creases until it's completely dry. So I'm just going to set that to one side. So, and that's actually strengthened obviously the paper, because I've now got you know, 2 sheets for my cover. So I'm just going to lay that, like I said, to one side. I have, as you've seen when I showed you the actual prints, I'd cut them all down. So I've cut all my coffee dyed paper as well. And what I'm going to do now is show you how I attach my pages to my spine. Now this little journal is 6x4, and I'm going to use some wax linen thread. It's my favourite thing at the moment, and I'm only going to do 3 holes for the pamphlet stitch on this, because it is quite a small journal, it's not a huge one. I'm using my Tim Holtz ruler, and in the centre of it, it's got 0. So I'm just going to mark up 1 to start with, and I'm going to find the centre. And for this one here, it is right, the centre is just here, so I'll just piece a hole, and I've got quite a thick what I call a darning needle. So I'm going to mark the centre, which is the 0. Then I'm going to come along and I'm going to mark it at the 2 on this side and the 2 on that side. So all 3 spaces you know, are even on each side, so that, you know, the same distance from here to here and here to here, and then from there to the middle, and from there into the middle again. So I know you probably won't see the actual holes, but that's them. Now I've got a little foam mat which I use for all sorts of things, and I'm going to line up all my papers. Now I find it, you can just use your mat to do this, but I find it easier using this little foam pad. I thought I'd lost my needle then. So I'm just going to centre that on there. Now I've seen many ways of doing it. You know, some people do individual pages. I just don't have the patience for that. So I'm just going to go through all 3 holes. And that's me got all 3 holes on all of the pages in this signature. So what I'm going to do is just use this as my guide and grab my next signature, which has got all my pages in. I'm just making sure everything's round the right way, and just slip that in there nice and tight. And I would recommend maybe clipping it here and here just to keep everything aligned, but you know, I do this all the time, so I kind of pretty much know what I'm doing. And occasionally the hole is, you know, off center, but it's all perfect on here, so I'm happy with that. So that's that signature done. My 3rd signature, and if I haven't said already, there's 4 signatures going into this little journal. Just making sure all the pages are around the right way. Yes. And that's another thing, you know, before you actually start sewing things in, make sure all your pages and your signatures are the right way around, because I have done that before and then found that, you know, there's a random page that's upside down. And when we do junk journals, that's fine anyway, but I don't want it to be like that. So my 4th signature is like so. And I just kind of crease it, make sure it's right in there, and just lay it down and poke. Like so, and they're all done. So that's how quick and easy it is to actually, you know, pierce the holes in your signatures. I don't often do the 5 hold one. It's just, I'm just impatient. So I'm just come back to my 1st signature where I took this one from as my guide. I'm just popping it back in, and I have got roughly 5 or 6 pages, I think it is, in each signature with 4 signatures. So I am just going to check to see how my yeah, that's coming out lovely. It's still a little bit damp, so I'm going to leave it a little bit longer, and I will actually leave that and come back and show you. I don't want to jump onto the next thing until I've done this, so I'll come back and show you when this is dry. Okay, so my cover is all dry. The inside is all stuck down nicely, and I've manipulated it slightly so that it's going to fold into a book form, as seen. And now what I'm going to do is just fold this over to create the pocket. So I'm just using some tacky glue. I would recommend using a wet glue rather than you know, a red line tape or whatever, because if you stick things, tags and stuff in, it does actually stick to it. So I'm just going to give that a little wipe. Just going to hold that for a few seconds so that it takes, and get rid of my glue. Okay, so as you've seen, I've already done the signatures. I'm going to need now to space out the holes on the spine to then attach my signatures. So again, using my Tim Holtz ruler and my needle, which I have misplaced. That's great fun. It will be here somewhere, or it's on the floor. I'm always losing the needle. Ah, here it is. Okay, so I would normally line up I'm lining up this crease with that line there. That will give me a good guidance. Some people actually make a little template. I don't bother. I will look roughly and see. Now I need to punch the holes in exactly the same place as I've punched the holes in these. So I need to find the center point, which is right here, and I will pierce a hole through where it says 0 and again where it says 2. That way my signatures will go through easy peasy. Now I'm the greatest one for, I'm just going to use my little spongy mat again to make sure that that goes all the way through. And this is a little bit harder because there's pattern on here and the holes are a little bit harder to see. Now I would then just line that up to see, oh actually I'll find my center point here, and I'm using just this as a guide, my center point on the first hole, and I'm just guessing the spaces between. So you know, you can actually do a template, like I said. Sorry, I'm really quiet doing this because I'm concentrating. So I've now got my 4 holes. I'm not sure if you can see them, the paper's really dark. But I've now got my 4 holes to sew my signatures in. So I'm just about to start doing that now. The wax linen thread is lovely. I normally just do, for this size, I would do just like a full length of my cutting mat, which gives me a little bit extra, but I'd rather have a little bit extra than not enough. You don't want to get to the last hole and discover that you haven't got enough, so I'll just thread that through, and this is so easy to work with because it is waxed. Now making sure I've got my front cover and just deciding on which one that I want as my front signature, which is this one. So I'm going to find the center hole and work all the pages through the needle. And then just give it a little tug, like so. Then I'm going to find my first center hole at the beginning of the front of my journal and just feed that through. And I'm going to come up here and go through my top hole and then find the top hole on the signatures. Sometimes you have to feed each one through, sometimes you're lucky if you hold it nicely, it will actually go through all of them in one, but today's not one of them days. So through as so, and go straight through your middle one. Try not to kind of go, let it, you know, go through your thread of sorts that you're using, you know, if it's baker's twine or linen thread, and feed that back through the middle one. So that's you nearly done your first signature, so you go through your second, not your second, your bottom hole that you've punched, and then you find your a hole on your signatures. And look at that, that's kind of gone through all of them in one go. So that was a lucky one. And pull it through. Now I'm taking my needle out right now. And what I then do is this was the tail of my linen thread. And I'm just going to make sure it's all lined up properly, and I'm just going to pull it. As you can see, it's quite loose here, and it's good to keep it loose to start with, because then it's easier actually to feed things through. Well, that's what I find anyway. So I'm just going to pull it, and you'll see it's pulling it and keeping it nice and tight up here, then here. Now some people like to maybe add something in the middle so that the binding is hidden. Before I tie it off, I'm just going to check it. It's all nice and tight, and I would just tie it in a knot. And this stuff is really good, so you know, I don't necessarily do 2 knots, but you can do if you wish. And okay, I've wasted about that much, so I will do a little bit less on the next one. So that's my first signature sewn in, as you can see, and I will go ahead and do one more, then I will stop and come back, because I don't want to bore you with the repetitiveness. So I'm just going to cut just cut a little bit less this time. Just feed it through. And just grab my next signature, and I know that that's my front one, so I know I'm up the right way. So I'll feed it through the centre hole and pull it through. I would do it kind of gently, don't tug on it and yank it or anything, because you may rip your paper. So that. Then I'm going to come up, my fingers and thumbs here, I'm going to come up and find the top hole and come through, and then just find my top hole on my signature. And voila. Then we come back through through your centre. This one's not easy. Okay, through the centre one. And back through there, the bottom hole, and then find the bottom hole on your signature. Like so, and just do the same, just find your tail, pull it through a little bit, you don't need that much there, pull it through this way, pull it through the bottom, and there, and I'm just going to slip that through there like so. So that's nice and tight. Actually that could be done with a little bit more, because you do need this to be tight for it all to stay in place. But don't do it too tight that you start ripping your paper. And just snip that off like so. So I will quickly do the other 2 signatures and I will be back. So I've sewn in all my signatures, chunky already. So it's a perfect size for 4 signatures with roughly 5 pages in each signature. So now I'm going to go on to some of the embellishments and show you what I'm going to do with them. I have already prepped these 4 little booklets, and I've cut down some coffee dyed paper to make, you know, little booklets to go inside in some pockets that I am planning on putting in there. These can be cut down individually, or I've left them as two together to make these little booklets, and there's just 4 pages in these little small ones. And I've done some flip ones in there, so I'll show you how I attach the paper to them, because I don't sew them in. I use a stapler, which I open up, and I've got enough staples in there, so I open up like so, using my little foam mat. And what I do is I will put that flips out like so, and so does that one. So I'm actually going to do it so that one flips out that way and the other one flips out that way. So they're all lined up, and I just put it inside on the crease, which this has been folded in half and inked up. And I'm going to lay that down like so, and let me just make sure you can see. So along this crease line I will use my stapler and go onto the line, just make sure it's there, and hit. Then obviously the staples stick into the mat, and just lift them out, and you can use, I don't know where my bond folder is, but you can use anything at all. So I'm just going to use this ruler and just flatten these staples down so that you could actually do it with your fingers. Just they're not really strong, like a strong metal, are they? So I'll just fold them down like so, and you could run some washi up there. And so that's, you got one little book like so, and that opens up like that. That one opens up like that, and there we go. So there's loads of places to write in there. So I'm just going to do exactly the same to these. These I'll just put one staple in the middle. Do these all, and then I will fold them down. Oops. Just on the fold is where to put your staple. And just make sure that your paper is just a fraction smaller than your cover. You can do some stamping and all sorts in these just to decorate them. So just fold them down, make sure they're pretty flat, because we don't want to catch any fingers on them. I've done that before, run my hand down the middle of the page and staples gone right through my finger. So got a little booklet. Sorry if you can hear the noise upstairs. I think one of my sons is moving his room around. I told them, be quiet. Okay, so you've got journal, somewhere to journal on the front and the back. So that's them. So it's me got 4 little books to add, so this is going to be getting chunky and chunky as we go along. Right, I planned on using these, let me get rid of them, these 3 pieces here from the kit to add on to some coffee dyed tags that I have pre-made. So what I'm going to do is some walnut stain distress ink, and I'm going to just go around the edges of these embellishments. I'll do all of them at once. I love that colour of blue. And I'm just going to glue them on, making sure they're the right way up. If my glue wants to work. Okay. Doesn't want to work. Typical. Here we go. So I'm just going to put a little bit around the edges. And stick that down like so. And do the same with this one. Sorry, was out of frame, I think. So that's to one side. This one I'm actually going to cut down a little bit because I don't want the tag to be that big. I'll just cut that one down a little bit in a minute, but I'll let that dry. And I do find once I've done my coffee dyed tags, I run a few of them through the Big Shot just to flatten them out because they get a little bit warped. Okay, so I'm just going to freehand cut some triangles at the top to give that tag look, and I will use that as a guide for my next one. My tags are roughly, what are they? They are roughly 5 by 2.5. This one I'm just gonna estimate that and do the same. So, and the same with this one. Okay, so now I'm gonna go back in with my inks and go around the edges. So that's them little tags done. I will just use my crocodile to punch some holes. And I'm going to use a large hole on this one and just, there we go, I just guessed the middle. And I've got some seam binding that I will be adding to these. Okay, so I will just let them dry on there. So that's me around 4 tags, to go inside as yet. Right, I've got some pockets here that I'm going to add to the book. First of all, I'm just going to ink around the edges. These are specific cuts that you can just cut out, fold and add straight into your journal. So I'm going to see where I'm going to put that. So I think what I'll do is I will start from the front and work my way through. So what I'm going to do to start with is just add a tiny little bit of glue here and here, just to hold this down for a few seconds. Like so, then run some glue like so, and Now the book is actually facing you now, so I'm just going to stand up, sorry about the squeaky chair, and glue that down. And I'm just going to hold it in place for a few minutes. And I will put a tag inside that. So that's that one. Now there's this one, and it comes like so. And I've just done all the score lines, and I'm just going to do a little bit of inking. This is a beautiful colour. And I'm going to go around this as well. And again, I'm just going to add a little bit of glue on here and on there. Hold it for a few seconds because we don't want that to move. And just run some glue. Okay, and just line it up because it's all to size. And I will find where I want to put this. Excuse me. So what I think I'll do is I'll put a pocket of some sort in each signature. So I will, and what I'm going to do with this one is just glue it up this side and along the bottom, so that I've still got a tuck spot here. So and just glue it down like so, and just hold it for a little bit. Just a little bit. If any glue comes out, just give it a quick wipe because you don't want it to stick to your next page. Right, so we've got this pocket now, which is like so. And I've done all the scoring, and I'm just going to ink around the edges. And what I'm going to do is ink behind here as well. So just do that. You're not going to see that, but it will cover it there. And go around the edges. And go right into the little circle. Get rid of that white. Really don't like seeing the white. So again, a little bit of glue on here. Hold it down. And around the bottom. Fold it down like so. There's a tiny little overlay there. I'm just going to trim that off. And that's us got another pocket, which I'm going to put into my third signature. Just find a space, and I think this one I'm going to glue on 3 sides to give like a double pocket effect. So and just make sure it's kinda central. Just going to hold that down for a few seconds. And I'm going to create another pocket for the third one, for the fourth one, and I'm going to do that using one of the sheets that I haven't added. So I'm going to create this into a pocket. So I've cut down that piece of paper, and I've just made 4 little pockets. They're just square little pockets. I've cut it down to 9 centimetres that way by 4.5 centimetres this way. So I've also just quickly made some little banners and stamped some words on them. We've got believe, happiness, adore and journey. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick them onto here, and then I'm going to stick them in the book. So just making sure the script on this is the right way around, and again this is facing me so that I don't get too confused. So just add some glue and just stick it down. Now this is a great way to use all the little offcuts that we end up having when we're making journals, just making little pockets. And this was actually one of the tags that I'd coffee dyed. I've just cut it up into little banners. Make sure it's rolling the right way. And there we go. Right, now I'm going to put one of these in each signature. So I'm going to, this is facing you, I'm going to face it to me and just glue it in. So obviously just gluing around 3 sides. And stick it down. I like to keep a nice little gap at the bottom as well. So that's one in there. Find the second signature. I'm just randomly putting them in and glue around 3 sides. Just like so. And the third one. And the fourth one, put that there. So that's me now. I've got my pockets in there, like so. And just like that. Now I'm going to use some of the other elements from the kit, which is these here. I'm going to keep the tags to be used as tags, and I'm going to create some little pockets using some of these. So these are what I'm going to use as tuck spots. So again, I'm going to turn this to face me. A stray piece of paper. So I'm going to use them as corner. Oops, that's upside down. I'm going to use them as corner tucks, and I'll glue them in. So again, it's just 2 sides that need gluing. And it's good to pay attention to what sides you need to glue down, because I've done that loads of times and glued the wrong sides. So again, I'll do one in each signature. Just on 2 sides. Just like so. Let me see. I'm going to do one on here as well. Just making sure it's all run the right way. And the third one is going to be this as a bottom tuck. So I'm just going to glue it along one side at the bottom. And just hold that in place. So I've now got that and that I was planning on using, so I may just do that. I'll do that again. I think I will do that in this section, first one. Make sure I've got it the right way. And just hold it down. And this is just such a beautiful image. I'm going to go on to my third section and signature and to use that. And I'm just going to use that as a corner tuck. So just along two sides. And just like so. I'm going to use this one here to add one into the fourth signature. I'm going to use it on this side. Okay. So you can see it's filling out nicely, and that's just by adding like tuck spots. Just do a quick. There's plenty of places so far to tuck stuff in. I'm going to just find my seam binding that I dyed, and I just used some walnut stain for this. Didn't use a lot of it, didn't want it too dark, and then I think I used some scattered straw on it as well. So I'm just going to feed this through my tags. So what I normally do is I'm just going to have them just kind of hanging out the end, come from the scissors end, so I'm just going to cut off a little bit and feed it through. Now I normally go with the two tail ends, normally go through the back and then through the loop, so that's one. So the two tail ends and through the loop, like so. And finally this little one. So that's them done, quick and easy. I'm just going to find some spots for that through the journal. Put that one in there. I will make some more tags. That would look nice in there, like so. Third one, I would imagine there's a tuck spot somewhere, just like that. So it's me got some, and I like the fact that they hang out at the top. I'm going to make some more tags now. Alright, so made these tags with some of the elements which I've cut out from the DigiKit, and I've just done a bunch of extra tags that can be added throughout the journal as well. Now I'm going to just do a little bit of stamping inside. I always use this little format, isn't just for piecing. I use this once my journals are together and if I decide to stamp on them so that I get an even stamp. So I've got a few stamps here, they're just sentiment stamps, and I'm just going to do just a few throughout the book, just to add some interest in the blank pages. Just taking them all out and leaving them there so that it's handy for me to add them to the journal. Now I obviously have to face this to me, so I'm just looking where there's like kind of a lot of blankness. I normally just put that there. Choose my stamp, which I'm going to use this one. It says live well, laugh much, no, laugh often, love much. I'm just going to use some Memento ink, which is Espresso Truffle. And I actually might need to stand up to do this so that I get it straight and align it properly. Just like so. Wasn't sure whether it was in frame then. So that gives it a nice cushion to you know, print onto. I'll do one on here, and that says live, feel the life you have imagined. I'm going to do some stamping on the bottom now. This one says journey. This is where you really don't want to mess up when you're stamping and you are doing, you know, the tail end of your journal, and you're, you know, and this is a design team project. Do another one up here. Says explore. Do one down here. Live, love and laugh. One says dream. Let's do one up here now. I actually want to use an image, and I think I will use little chandelier. Helps if you line your stamps up correctly. I'm going to use a crown now. Like I say, it's just a little bit of added interest, and it also allows, you know, still a lot of room for journaling. Do one down the bottom, I've got a key. And got some blank pages in here. I'm going to put this on down the side of the page. It says things I love. And pretty much think that's it. So that's more or less the journal complete. What I'm going to do is I will add all these tags, and I will add all these tags, and then I will do a complete flip through of this, so that you'll see start to finish, and if there's any questions you can ask, and you know, anything that I've used that's not part of the kit, ask away. So enjoy the flip through. So here is the flip through to the completed journal. I hope my how-to step by step on how I constructed this was easy and understandable. I've had so much fun making this, so I have added some seam binding as a closure. As you can see, there is I've attached it through the binding, so you can see why I needed to add the seam binding, because it's just gone enormous. It's so super chunky and I love it. So I've got a little pocket here with a tag, and this is from the kit. I wasn't sure whether I was actually going to use this as my cover or this, because I really like this, but I have got another project to make as a guest design team member, so I may use that one. There's a pocket, some of the ephemera. I've cut this out and put it on a tag and added some seam binding. I know if you've watched the whole video you'll know this. Plenty of places to journal, some stamping, some pockets. Little booklets that I made. Another little booklet from some of the elements. Just slits in there. Some tags that I've added. Little belly band here. That was the spare piece that was left from using this back piece here as the inside of my cover. made some tags with this element. With a little booklet. It's the butterfly from the kit. Some more of the tags. So I've added a little seam binding to give some texture. And this was, you could have used that as a flap, but that was never going to happen with the size of this journal. I know it would end up really super chunky, so I just created a little pocket there, and this is one of the library cards, and I've just slotted that in there. So I hope you've enjoyed this whole video. I've enjoyed making this. Oh, and here I've titled it Enchanted Rose, and that was actually just one of the little pieces that you get at the bottom of the kit. I didn't actually use this, but I'm planning on using it in my next project. So I just cut that out and added that as a title. So you can use absolutely everything really. So like I said, all the links will be below in the description box. So please pop over and have a look at this beautiful kit, and there is add-ons to this as well. And it's been a pleasure making this. Thanks for watching. Bye.